top 10 best songs in horror movies. If you know me at all, you know that I am the biggest fan of horror movies. And of course, I love metal and rock music, and horror movies are notorious for having that type of music featured in them a lot. So I decided to make a list of my favorite songs that are featured in horror movies. They are not all metal and rock, and there are gonna be some surprises in there. So let's see, enjoy. The list, it's not in any specific order, but I am gonna leave my personal favorite for last. And by the way, this video is sponsored by Headphonescom. Stay tuned to hear more about it. Number 10, we have Constantine, directed by Francis Lawrence in 2005. There is a bar scene that features the song Passive by A Perfect Circle. And if you've seen the movie, it's the best thing ever. Keanu Reeves walks into this bar that has only demons, apparently, if I remember correctly. It's only demons and maybe a couple of angels. And as soon as he starts walking down this bar, Passive starts playing, and the demons are like doing their thing in the bar. One of them turns water into wine, and it's the sexiest thing ever. Number 9, I Know What You Did Last Summer, directed by Jim Gillespie. I hope I'm saying his name right. In 1997. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie itself, but the title card features the song Summer Breeze by Typo Negative, which slowly but surely became one of my favorite bands. And I just love when a metal band is able to make a song about summer and make it sound gross. And as soon as that title card appears and we start hovering above the water and the theme and the vibe of the music and the movie is introduced, it just gets you into that cozy, cheesy horror movie place. Number 8, we have House of Wax, directed by Jean-Colette Serra. I really hope I'm saying his name correctly. In 2005. Now, this movie has way too many cool songs. It's like that type of cheesy horror movie that features teenagers sitting around a fire, they're camping, and you have only rock and metal songs playing one after the other, and some hip-hop as well. But the best song, hands down, that plays in this movie is Minerva by Deftones. And Deftones is one of my all-time favorite bands. And it's the very first song that plays in the movie, like song. It's the song that plays. Say song one more time. It's the first song that plays during the title card, which is the best title card I've ever seen. I love it when directors really put effort into their title cards instead of just picking like a random font to be their title card. The title card for House of Wax is literally made of melting wax. Say title card one more time. Before we continue, I have to talk about this video sponsor, Headphonescom. They were kind enough to send me the new Focal Batis. They are wireless, noise-canceling, premium quality headphones. They're super comfortable, and I love that they have this early 2000s look to them, as opposed to some new headphones that have been coming out lately that have the opposite, like, sleek look to them. Now, Headphonescom have a variety of different items that they sell on their website, but the thing that they focus on the most, of course, is audio quality. And to make sure that you're happy with your purchase, they offer a 365-day return policy. So check out their website, use the link in the description to let them know that I sent you, and maybe you can get your hands on one of these. And I would recommend you not only listen to the songs that I'm talking about in this video with these, but if you're a brave human being, I would recommend you to use these headphones to watch a horror movie, because holy shit, isn't it the most immersive experience ever to watch a movie with headphones on, especially a horror movie with jump scares. So once again, thank you so much, Headphonescom, for sending me the new Focal Baptiste. Check out my link in the description to check out their other products and let them know that I sent you.
Say check out one more time.
Say check out one more time. Number 7. This one, it's a little bit tricky because I can't understand how most people would not consider this to be a horror movie. But I do, because the story is the most horrific thing ever. It's like if Tusk was remade by Pedro Almodovar and he made it more classy. That's how I see this movie. We have The Skin I Live In, again, directed by Pedro Almodovar. It was made in 2011 and it features a song called Por el Amor de Amar. And it was written by Jean Manson and José Toledo. And it was performed by the one and only Buica. It's a very sad song. It's a lullaby. And it comes back over and over during the movie because it has a very direct effect on the trajectory of one of the main characters of the movie. And I love when a movie does that. It includes a song that has an effect on the characters. It's not just a soundtrack that we hear over the images that we're seeing. It's a living being that has a place in the actual story. And it lives on because now I listen to that song and I can think of what that song did to the people in the movie. And it's super tragic. Number 6, we have Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg in 1975. And it has one of the best sailor songs of all time, Show Me the Way to Go Home. It was written by Jimmy Campbell and Reg Connolly, or as they were known, the Irving Kings. And this song was said to have been written on a moving train while both friends were traveling and they were super tired from the trip and they were getting drunk together. So they just started singing and writing that song on the spot, and that's how the song came to be. And it's such a lovely image, you know, to have of those two friends drunk on a train. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed too. I think about it about an hour ago and it got straight to bed. Number 5, we have one of my favorite movies of all time, which not many people love, I get it, but it's The Neon Demon by Nicholas Winding Refn. And the song that I'm talking about is Mine by the Sweet Tempest. And this song was written by Julian Winding and Luna Kira Rudd Peterson. And Julian is actually the director's nephew. That's one of the songs that he contributed to the film. Number 4. Okay, if I was making a list of the top 10 horror movies of all time, this movie would be nowhere fucking near this list because it's the worst thing. The worst thing. And we're talking about Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Directed by Joe Berlinger in 2000. Oh my god, is this movie bad. After the longest fucking introduction into this movie, we get like this glimpse of hope because out of nowhere, Disposable Teens by Marilyn Manson starts playing. And we start hovering above the trees. And then we get into the van with the main characters that we were just introduced to, and they're listening to that song, and it's like, okay, maybe this movie won't suck so bad. But then, of course, it does. And then that's the highlight of the entire movie. Number 3, we have Jeepers Creepers, directed by Victor Salva in 2001. Now, just like the movie title, we have the song Jeepers Creepers by Harry Warren and Johnny Mercer, performed by Paul Whitman's Swing Wing. And it's really cool because in the movie, it's like it has almost this supernatural power because it accompanies this monster. So if the song starts playing now, I'm gonna have to assume that the monster is nearby, you know. Number 2, we have Bride of Chucky, directed by Ronnie Yu in 1998. And listen, this song is the ultimate horror movie song ever written. And the person who put this song in the movie really knew what they were doing. and I'll tell you why. Sorry for the intermission, but apparently I was so excited that I forgot to say the name of the song. But it's Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie. The song opens up with this line that is, "Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?" Which is a line from the trailer of the film Lady Frankenstein. And the music that they sample at the beginning of the song is taken from the trailer of the Wes Craven film The Last House on the Left. And in the middle of the song, we get another line sample, which is, "What are you thinking about? The same thing you are," which is a line taken from the movie Daughters of Darkness from 1971, which is an erotic horror movie. So yeah, imagine being so good at your job that you pick this song to be in Bride of Chucky. Because it's the first time that Chucky needs to be like reassembled. He needs to be like stitched up, kinda like Frankenstein. And the song features a line from the movie Lady Frankenstein. And before I reveal the song that got number 1 in my list, I'm gonna have to give an honorable mention, which is really not an honorable mention. I just realized that I wrote an 11 song list instead of 10. But we're gonna pretend like this is an honorable mention, okay? We have Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, directed by David Lynch in 1992. Now, I knew this already, but recently I have just rediscovered my love for David Lynch, one of my all-time favorite directors. I love this man. Watching his interviews, talking about his movies, is just one of the most relaxing things ever, because he's just such a quirky character. A quirky little old man.
I love factories, and I love nude women.
And my favorite song in that film is Questions in a World of Blue, written by Angelo Badalamenti and David Lynch himself. David Lynch has talked so much about Angelo because they are kind of an inseparable duo, because Angelo really helped David to like develop his musician skills. David doesn't consider himself to be a musician, but he does play the guitar and sing very well, according to him. But they both write songs for David Lynch's films all the time, including this one, which is the saddest song I know. And the scene in particular that the song plays is, in my opinion, the highlight of the entire movie, because it's this bar scene where Laura Palmer, the main character, goes into to do a very intense night out for Laura Palmer. And the thing I love the most about David Lynch is the sound design in his movies. And in that scene in particular, the music in the club is so fucking loud that he had to put subtitles for all of the characters' lines, which is very realistic, because I hate whenever in a movie characters go to a club or a bar and it's supposed to look like the music is really loud, but they can't really put the music louder than the actors' voices. So it's this really like awkward thing to watch. But in David Lynch's films, the music is actually the loudest thing ever, that you cannot hear people at all. But Questions in a World of Blue starts playing before the madness starts in the bar. It's this really sweet moment where we focus on Laura Palmer and we can really feel her sadness and desperation, and it's just beautifully performed by Julie Cruz. Finally, number 1. My number 1 song featured in a horror film is Suspiria by Tom York, which was written for Suspiria in 2018 by Luca Guadagnino. That was Tom York's first feature film score ever, which is unbelievable to me because he did it so well, and I hope that he continues down that road because that man was born to make scores for movies. That piece of music is just so beautiful, and he said in interviews how he wanted to make something that really stood out from the original score, from the original Suspiria, and he took inspiration from the original Blade Runner movie. It's really amazing to see how the song and how his music elevates the movie. The movie is amazing by itself, and it stands on its own. But that's really a case where the music, the score, and that song in particular, in my opinion, really elevated the movie, and it put it in a different category. So that's it. We've reached the end. That was my top 10 slash 11 songs featured in horror movies. I think I'm gonna make a Spotify playlist with all of the songs that were featured in this video, and I'm gonna link it down below if you want to listen to it in your own time. It's a very confusing playlist, but amazing nonetheless. Again, thank you so much, Headphonescom, for sponsoring this video, and goodbye. This is the top 10 horror movie.